Have a warm welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Horst Lüning. I'm the senior taste of Whisky.com, and today we have an old friend here on my cask. It's the Redbreast, 21 years old, 46% ABV, unchill filtered, with a quite hefty price tag of €178 at Whisky.com. Well, this Redbreast came on the market in 2013. I visited the distillery, or the presentation of the new single pot still whiskies from the Old Middleton, or the New Middleton Distillery, and the presentation was held in the Old Middleton Distillery. And the announcement had been that there will be new whiskies every year. And to that time, the oldest whiskey with the Redbreast brand had been 15 years. Yeah, 15 years. The Redbreast, which is the name-giving bird to this whiskey, is, well, the robin redbreast is a small singing bird which stays in Europe and in the cold, dark Irish winter, and, sings there in the winter and keeps the mood up. And this, I think, should be the equivalent to this whiskey. This is an intense whiskey because it's a single pot still, means that is only produced on pot stills, which was very uncommon to the Irish whiskey production, where most of the whiskey was produced on column stills, not always on copper, but on stainless steel column stills, with a few copper parts in it. But these are now in the New Middleton Distillery 3 copper pot stills, and now there's a second newly built distillery because the demand for Irish whiskey was so big that I had to build a second one. I've never been to that new one. And in this 3 pot stills, this whiskey is distilled, but not from single malt, but from a mixture of malted barley and barley, unmalted barley. So from the Scottish terms, it's a blend. From the Irish terms, it's a single pot still. And on one hand, you have this slightly smoother taste from the unmalted barley, and then you have the more intense taste from the pot still distillation, which intensifies the more spicy characters of the whiskey. And then you have the triple distillation, which comes a step back, because triple distillation leads to a smoother, more clearer alcohol. So the whiskey is matured in ex-Bourbon casks and first fill sherry casks, and then they're mixed together. And those first fill sherry casks for 21 years, this is quite a lot, but the percentage, you will see it with the color of the whiskey, isn't that high. There is a decent amount of sherry cask influence in this whiskey, but it's not too high. Yeah, did I forget something? No, I don't think so. Yeah, the whiskey came out in 2013. Then it was, above 100, but still affordable. But the big demand, the increasing demand for Irish whiskey let the price rise now up to 178. And unfortunately for you connoisseurs, people pay that. Why? Well, because the amount of whiskies available with that age isn't that high. And there's a worldwide increasing demand for Irish whiskey. Oh, missed that. For Irish whiskey. And so they're able to ask for that higher selling price, I'm afraid. Yeah, I had that whiskey together with a relative who visited 2 weeks ago. And so I know what's in it. And it was appreciated very much. Yeah, very fruity on the nose. Rich. Yeah. If this whiskey would have been a 100% first fill sherry cask for 21 years, it would have been very, very dark, which is not the case. So this is a mixture between ex-Bourbon cask, probably second, third fill. Otherwise, they would have said it's first fill ex-Bourbon cask as well, together with the first fill sherry cask, and this leads to this wonderful full golden with a light browny touch in it. It's tropical fruits, fresh papaya probably, and behind that is the cask, and the sherry cask tends to have a nutty aroma. If you open a fresh sherry cask without sherry in it for filling with whiskey, and you smell on it, it's nuttiness, it's walnuts, it's hazelnut, it's pecan nut, all nuts, not so much coconut. I smell the coconut a lot more with the ex-Bourbon casks, not so much in the sherry casks. And there are dried fruits in it, but not those dark fruits like plums or sultana or something like that. No, they're lighter. And the tropical fruits are very, very intense. Cheers. First impact is, of course, the pot still, which tends to have a more intense, well, say, lightly sharp influence, a peppery note in it. And then the second is the oakiness, the spice of the oak, which is quite long. And the spiciness is the major component in the taste I have now on my tongue. Stays quite long, the spiciness and the oakiness. In the very back, a little bit of maltiness. Well, there's malt in it, of course. The tropical fruits move a little bit to the darker side, and the fruitiness probably apricots, dried apricots. But dried apricots a little bit too sweet, not that sweet, fruity. Now there's vanilla in it coming through. Yeah. Now with the second sip, a little bit more oilier. I'm no native, no. And the aftertaste is more harmonic. Yeah. This is now, it's not this intense, spicy aftertaste, but a warming, spicy, mellow, spicy aftertaste, which moves along your tongue to the throat. Yeah. Long aftertaste. So this is 21 years of a extremely well-matured single pot still whiskey, which would be, from the view of the Scottish, would be a blend, but there is no column still whiskey in this. It's a pure single pot still, as I said, in Ireland. So this is very, very close to a single malt we typically know. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. There's more to come.